Good morning. It's Friday. Welcome to Mornings with Luann and Tim. You look awesome.
It's Dunce Day.
Really?
Do you know... Did anybody ever have to wear a dunce cap in your school?
No, I had to go sit facing the corner of the room, though.
At school?
Yes.
What did you do?
I don't even remember, you know. I don't think it was a mortal sin.
So people actually did this. They made you wear this and to punish you. But you know why the dunce, you know where it started? I'll tell you. The reason we're wearing this is because it's Dunce Day. It celebrates the death of the man who invented these things. It was 1308, imagine that. The year was 1308 in Scotland.
1308, I remember it well.
Yeah, he was a medieval scholar. Medieval. Yeah, his name was Duns Scotus.
He's a Duns Scotus.
Of Duns, Scotland. I guess his first name was the same as the place he came from. Maybe they did that back in the day.
How creative is that,
I don't think I'd like to be Sault Ste. Marie Murphy. But anyway.
Sue Murphy.
Today is all about learning. So let's learn about the origin of the dunce cap.
Okay, let's learn.
The guy, Duns Scotus, look at the little kid. People did that to kids.
Man, you didn't make me a hat that nice.
I did. We didn't have enough headroom on the camera.
Holy moly.
So anyway, the guy, he thought that knowledge would flow from the point of the cap back into the head of the wearer.
Oh, he's a dunce.
What? Well, you see, and that's why the critics of him, and apparently he had some other good ideas too, but anyway, his critics derived the word dunce from where he was from in Scotland, Dunce, Scotland. So there you go.
Did you ever have to wear a dunce cap?
I'll just have you know that I was a straight A student and in Ontario.
You were not. Even in kindergarten, you were straight A?
The only thing I ever got, my note said, was that I talked too much. I had too many...
Oh my God, I always got that. She talks too much.
No, the word was not unofficial, but it was like unsolicited conversations or something. Like I was chatty.
You were free with your advice.
I was meant to be a talker. So.
Jeez, imagine.
Anyway, no, I never was. The only thing that ever happened to me that was pretty awful, though, was grade 1, Miss Vincent. Story time. A couple things she embarrassed me about. We had a little mats we sat on for story time, and I had to go to the washroom, and I raised my hand, and she told me I had to wait till the end of the story.
And you couldn't.
I peed in my mat. And then she made me carry my wet mat home.
Oh! What?
She also...
How old were you?
Well, it was grade 1. I was 5, 6.
She made you carry it home?
At lunch hour, when I went home for lunch, I had to carry my wet mat home.
There are some people who should not teach. That's just mean.
Oh, Nita Vincent. She also, I remember one time sitting behind Jeannie Kolosevich, and I was playing with her hair, and Miss Vincent stopped what she was doing and said, "Timmy, if you want to braid somebody's hair, I suggest you grow your own."
Okay.
Yeah. She used to make us line up in the day and kiss her goodbye. That was later.
Ooh.
Yeah, we go weird.
What? She's a bag and she
one time she told Tammy Boyer was always sick. Poor Tammy Boyer. And Tammy Boyer said, "I'm going to be sick." And Miss Vincent had it with Tammy. She said, "If you're going to be sick, come up here and throw up in this garbage pail." And so Tammy did.
Oh, see? There you go, Miss Vincent. Shame on you being mean. You know what? These could be fun.
She taught my mother.
She taught your mom.
My mother's 32 years older than I am, and we had the same teacher.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
Hey, this would make a good drink for the weekend. Right?
No, I'm going to use it for popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
You're so lame.
It's also Cook Something Bold Day.
Cook something bold.
Cook something bold.
Like...
Be bold and daring.
Like spicy bold?
I don't know. Well, just bold and daring. So maybe... Cause the idea is you fill your house with homey or odors. It's celebrated in November because
my house is always filled with homey.
That's Jim's socks.
Homely orders.
That's Jim's laundry. It's celebrated in November because your houses are normally closed up because of the winter months. So when you cook, it really smells nice. It captures the aromas. So we're having a surprise guest today. Erica Hogan's coming in with her cookbook just for a little drop-in.
Oh, no way.
It's called Plaid and Maple Cookbook. Maybe she'll find us something bold.
Cook something bold, eh?
My mother
so awesome.
My mother also used to use the word bold when I was talking back.
Yes.
Don't be bold.
Don't be bold.
She said that. Your mother said that too?
Yes, my mother said that too. Big time.
Funny, eh?
And when I tell you to put your slacks on. Slacks. Don't be bold.
See, women wore blouses, men wore shirts, men wore pants, and girls wore slacks.
Now we all wear tops and pants.
Tops and bottoms. Anyway.
Sometimes. He sometimes shows up with no bottoms, and it's...
I'm not wearing any pants right now. That's why I'm in such a good mood today.
You know what?
No,
the world
I never
is
do.
changing. The world is changing.
For the better?
Keeping up with the Kardashians, Kourtney is saying she's going to step back. She's not going to be on the show.
Well, can you live without that?
I don't know which one she is. She's got kids, apparently. She wants to stay home with the kids now. I forget which one she is. It's not Kim and it's not the others.
So they're going to do the show without her.
She's stepping back, but she's not leaving.
Oh, can you name her in the picture?
The one on the left.
That's Kim? She's the youngest.
No, that's Kourtney.
Who's the millionaire?
Kourtney.
Or billion. Is she million? Kourtney's the youngest millionaire or whatever, or something like that.
Is that right?
I don't know who has the makeup line.
No, Audrey's saying no. We've got the millionaire one wrong. But Kourtney has 3 children, so she's not the millionaire. Because the millionaire is like 14 and a half days old.
To have 3 kids.
Yes, right? But she wants to hang with them and, like be in their lives.
That's nice.
But her oldest is 9. Doesn't she look fantastic?
But once again, millionaires, nothing to do but
I could look that good if I had money.
Personal trainer.
I'm just really broke.
Which is the one who had the injections? Did she say?
Kim Kardashian, and she said she never had them. She actually had her bum x-rayed to show that she didn't have
that's really her
injections.
bum?
But you know what?
No.
Then after,
She always asked me that.
she got a bigger bum. So I'm just saying, if you look at the parents, Kris Jenner does not have a butt like that.
No.
Their father did not have a butt like that.
No, but he was a big ass, though.
Yes, he was.
He defended O.J. Simpson.
Yes, there's that. But and you know what? In a workout.
Do you remember that guy?
Oh yeah, he was so shocked.
When
right?
they announced
the verdict, he was like, "What?"
O.J.'s own lawyer. And
Yes,
his best friend.
and a very good friend.
Yeah.
But apparently you can
butt.
do some exercises
To make your
and
butt
work
bigger?
out. Yeah, to make your butt bigger. Because Kourtney also has.
How do you exercise your
One of the other ones, the blonde that was just in that
Yeah.
picture, she also has a butt the size of
Omaha?
Woodpecker Peak in Espanola. That's big.
What's Woodpecker Peak in Espanola?
Woodpecker Peak is where we used to go sliding. There
Like
was-
Arfin Hill?
Yes, but ours were hill 1, 2, and 3. And we never went to 3, very rarely went to 3, because we had to walk from our house down Mead Boulevard and into Woodpecker Peak through the bush, hill 1 and then hill 2, and then by then you're exhausted.
I feel like I just watched the Dolly Parton Christmas special.
I had a coat of many colors on
and there was
it.
hill 1 and hill 2. We had to walk up Main Street and then we went down hill 3 and it was very dangerous. Back in Woodpecker Peak, in Espanoodles.
Espanoodles? You know what though?
No, I don't.
The hospital is built there now.
On Woodpecker Peak?
We're Woodpecker Peakless in Espanola now. How sad is that?
You got nothing that resembles the bum of our Kardashian.
No! We have a ski hill, but you can't bum slide down that.
Bum slide was yesterday.
Yeah, I know. But we could bum slide down. Did you ever take a piece of cardboard and just bum slide down? Yeah. We did that at Woodpecker Peak all the time. We also took those big, heavy, monstrous wooden toboggans that were 18 feet long and weighed 400 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah, we walked and we ate snow because we were so thirsty.
Okay, so how come people tell you not to eat snow? Because if you eat snow, it's going to make you thirstier. Is that true?
I don't know.
Did you ever hear that? Don't eat snow. If you're
I never
thirsty,
heard
'cause
that.
It'll make you thirstier.
I always heard don't eat snow because it's dirty.
Not if it falls from the sky and nothing. Well, go look at the sky though.
Well, when you're
that's don't eat
right?
snow. Why not?
I wonder. I think if you're.
Did you used to eat the snow off your mitts? Off the
Yes, the big
little
chunky ones. Yeah, on the woolen mitts. You know what? I heard that if you're.
Is this an interesting banter for all of you at home?
I heard that if you are.
What did you hear, Luann?
If you're stranded and it's winter and you're in the bush, don't eat snow because it brings your temperature down too fast. Try and find a way to melt the snow if you're stuck in the bush overnight, because then it's easier for your system
Maybe
to take.
that's what they talked about.
So
See,
I don't know, how do you make it warmer?
Hold
Under
it in your mouth.
armpit?
Then it's going to melt.
Yeah, well, you want it to melt.
You got to, I don't know.
Yeah, I see them.
You knew about the moss on the north side of the tree, so I'm going to leave it to you to figure out how to melt snow and eat it. Okay, we've got a full show. We can't talk any longer. Nick MacLean's coming back to town to play at Lop Lops.
Awesome.
Remember the jazz guy?
Yes, he's awesome.
So we Skyped with him and he's coming up. Then we have Erica dropping by with a cookbook. And then, oh my goodness, we're teaming up with the other downtown. Twin Cities.
Such a good
Such a great idea. And then it's Fern Feathers Friday. Plus, all that dunce cap here has the news. So we'll see you after this on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
Past year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
I am pleased to welcome back to the show Nick MacLean. We're Skyping with Nick in Toronto right now. Nick, let's see. How many different groups do you belong to? 3, 4, who knows how many? You've got, right now we're talking about the Nick MacLean Quartet. But you also play with, is it called Snaggle? What's that?
Yes, Snaggle is the other group that I lead. It's an electric jazz group, often been compared to the American group Snarky Puppy, so a little bit more jazz fusion to Nick MacLean Quartet's hard swinging jazz.
Hard swinging jazz. And now you're also working as a solo artist now, working on a solo album, right,
yes.
for your keyboards.
Yes.
So Humber College, right? That's where you started your musical studies?
Yeah, I did my bachelor's at Humber College, a 4-year degree there. It's an absolutely fantastic program. They're, not only are the profs there absolutely top notch, but they're also including important aspects like music technology and music business, because it's learning to play your instrument well, and playing the music well is obviously so important, but there's so much else to the music industry that you have to learn.
Yep. So that's cool. So there's really as hands-on for the business aspects of it. And then you went on to U of T for your Masters of Jazz. And
yes.
With that, did you do sort of a specialization in like synthesizer keyboard? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the U of T program, part of what they do is there's an entire course where all you're doing is you're doing a big research project. It's not quite a dissertation, but it's that kind of a vibe. So for that whole thing, I did it on synthesizer pedagogy, because the synthesizer is a fairly recent invention in terms of instruments in general. You know, like saxophones have been around for lots of time, pianos have been around for hundreds of years, and so there's a pedagogy that has been developed for these kinds of instruments. But synthesizers, it's a lot more fragmented, and especially because there are new boards coming out every day with different configurations, I wanted to dig in and kind of see what are the common elements between all these different instruments that are important for synthesizer players to to know when they're learning the instrument. So that's what I focused on for a lot of the degree.
So you actually got to sort of choose your musical thesis. Is that the idea then?
Yeah, it wasn't quite a thesis, but they give us a lot of leeway in terms of what you
want to specialize in and study.
What we want to do in those in that course, and then the degree in general. I found it was extraordinarily practical. That was one of the things that I was concerned about going into a master's, because I've heard stories from other colleagues of mine who've done a master's, and their degree sounded very academically oriented. Almost to the degree that some of the things that were being talked about just weren't things that I think musicians think about or talk about. It's getting so far down into the nitty gritty that it almost becomes impractical for me. So I was really happy that this degree, so much of it was geared towards performance or composition or just even exploring what it is to be an artist and what an artist's role is. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time at U of T, and I got a lot out of it.
You have a wide range of influences, and I think is that one of the reasons why you have you perform in a couple different bands and your solo career as well, because there's so many different types of jazz that you can experiment and play in and compose in those different genres. Does that make sense? Am I on the right track there?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the two ensembles that I lead are Snaggle, which is the electric jazz group, and that's playing from more of my jazz fusion influences. So like in the 1970s, jazz rock fusion was becoming a thing, and this is where a lot of jazz artists were taking influences from rock artists, and we're taking some of the rhythms that were being used, some of the instrumentation, and folding more electronics into the genre. So you had bands like Weather Report or Chick Corea's Return to Forever or Mahavishnu Orchestra, and of course Miles Davis had an electric period in the 70s, and so I really dig those kind of artists, and so Snaggle was in part to explore that side of jazz, and I do a lot of synthesizer work with that group. And then Nick MacLean Quartet was, which is the group that's coming to Sault Ste. Marie on the 10th.
Right, November the 10th. Yeah.
This group is more exploring the post-bop era of jazz music. So post-bop is sort of an extrapolation from the bebop era, which is a very kind of muscular and angular form of jazz. It kind of laid the bedrock for a lot of the language and jazz improvisation to come after it.
And that's, I guess, probably where Brown Man comes in with his trumpet playing. I mean, just brilliant. I had the pleasure of meeting both of you the last time you passed through Sault Ste. Marie, and you were here live on the show. So tell me, how did you hook up with Brown Man in the first place?
So Brown, I met about 4 years ago. Okay. We were both playing in a group called the Socialist Night School in Toronto. It's led by a tenor saxophone player named Chelsea McBride. It's a fantastic group. It's like a true modern contemporary big band, very much in the Maria Schneider vein of things. Yeah. And so we met in that group, and Snaggle was performing, and I needed a trumpet sub. And I know that Brown is really deep into the electric jazz as well. Actually, he's a big influence of mine before I met him, because the Brown Man Electric Trio is a pinnacle group in Canadian electric jazz. So I asked if he would sub in for the Snaggle gig, because I mean, what an honor to have a trumpet player of that caliber, and he agreed, and we played the gig, and we both had a great time. He really enjoyed the music, and what we found as we were preparing for the gig, as we were hanging out and talking about music, is we have such a similar aesthetic. We've got a really similar value system. We think very similarly about things, and we have very similar musical tastes.
Now,
and then a couple years ago,
sorry, go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead. I was going to say, because that sort of leads us into Browntosaurus Records. Can you tell me about that connection then?
Yeah. So then a couple years ago, he brought me on board his record label, Browntosaurus Records, as a label manager. So Browntosaurus Records started as just a home for Brown's ensembles. As Brown used to be signed to a major label back in the day. I can't remember which one, but he was getting a royalty, something like 87 cents per disc that was sold. So for every disc that was sold at HMV for like $20, he was getting 87 cents.
Wow.
And that was considered a good deal back in those days. So he decided, you know what, this isn't really working for me. So he founded Brown Source Records as a home for his ensembles, so that he could control how things were being distributed, and he could retain all the proceeds from record sales. So then 3 or 4 years ago, he was since he founded Brown Source Records, he was getting offers from actually not so much offers, but requests from other artists. Hey, would you ever consider putting our band on the record label? And so 3 or 4 years ago, he decided, you know what, this is a really good idea. And he opened the doors to other groups. And so both of my groups, Snaggle and Nick MacLean Quartet, are signed to the record label. The band that we both met in, Chelsea McBride's Socialist Night School, has a release on the record label. And certainly all of Brown's ensembles are on it, and we've got a couple of other. There's another group, Modus Factor, a fantastic electric trio that plays really aggressive, improvised. It's their tagline is improvisational, electronic bedlam. It's a really wild group. So there's been some other artists that have been joining the label, and there's a number of others who we're expecting releases from in the next couple of years that we're really excited for. And so the whole aesthetic behind the record label is it's a true non-for-profit. 100% of all the proceeds from record sales go back to the artist. This has never been done before.
So this is quite an undertaking. You guys are doing about 30 different cities on this tour, from Ontario to BC, and you're driving your Mazda 5, and your drummer's in his vehicle, and the four of you are hitting the road, right?
Yep. It's going to be a true old school hit the road tour.
So we're going to hear some of the stuff that you played when you were here last time, but also with Rites of Ascension having been released in 2017, we're going to hear some of those tunes and a lot of original stuff coming out of you. So it's going to be at Lop Lops, November the 10th. That's a Sunday. Just show up, I guess. I don't think there's anything available in advance. Do you know about that at all, Nick?
I don't think there are any advance tickets available. They might have it up on the Lop Lops website.
Yeah, Lop Lops has a great website. That'll tell you all about it. So, safe travels.
Thank you very much, Tim.
We'll see you at Lop Lops November the 10th. That's a Sunday night. It's the Nick MacLean Jazz Quartet. And thanks for joining me on Skype, Nick. We'll see you in Sault Ste. Marie in just a little while.
Absolutely.
Okay, bye for now. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
celebrating Bold Day, so look what we have on the show. It's Erica Hogan from Hogan's Homesteads, and she brought us cookbooks.
And she brought us sweet, sweet, sweet tarts.
Made with Hogan's maple syrup.
Yes.
Hogan's Homestead's maple syrup.
And Mary.
And Mary from...
Mary from Feeding Your Soul made them. And she's at 96 White Oak Drive, so she thought you need something sweet this morning.
I drive by
Mary,
Feeding Your
honey.
Soul all the time.
Well, why aren't you stopping?
Right?
I'm going to now. But Mary's also doing the food for that bicycle thing, the autumn
She's in
trail
everything.
thing.
Everything.
Now you are located in there as a storefront.
Yes, we are now at 96 White Oak Drive. As soon as you walk in, we're to the right. Our storefront's being built. And yeah, it's going to be pretty
2016 you started this company?
Yes, we started just to spend time with my husband. And
you were both
I
working
love that.
yeah,
It's
and
a
now,
joint project.
now I'm
Right.
the boss and he's the employee. It's great.
And now he knows for sure that you're always right.
Yeah.
Spencer and Erica Hogan.
What kind of products do you sell in the store?
So we are not only just going to have our product lines, such as our maple infused barbecue sauces, our maple everything, syrup, pancake mixes, granola.
And you have flavored syrups too.
Oh yeah, bourbon infused, maple, cinnamon infused, coffee infused.
Coffee infused
And
maple
we
syrup.
have 5 new flavors launching in 2020.
Ooh.
And we're super excited about that. And then in addition, we've opened up our shelves to local artisans to be able to sell their product, anything maple infused. So for example, we have these beautiful blankets that were made and they have little maple syrup bottles everywhere.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so we're really trying to be that local aspect and just get, you know, that homestead feel into our office space.
I just bought the book, and I'm going to go back to the storefront and buy more books for Christmas presents because
And
seriously,
this cookbook
what a
that you're
great
launching
idea.
tomorrow is
Yes.
called Plaid and Maple Lovers Cookbook, and there are, trust me, there are some bold and what was the word? Bold and
Spicy?
no
Bacon.
bold and brave. No.
I
What are
found
you-
bacon and waffles in a glass.
Yeah, so you,
Bacon and waffles in a glass.
yeah, so you're
And
gonna have
there is
everything.
booze, so I'm good.
No.
Why do you think there's a cocktail section in that cookbook?
Right?
We, trust me, we were smart. So all these recipes are kind of our family recipes that we've created over the years, and then some and got inspired by different twists. Even there's one for hunters in there. So there's a hunter stew. So if you like wild game, there's a 2-page recipe on there from
My
Spencer.
brother would
If you're
Love
if
that.
you're a vegetarian or a
Yeah.
vegan, maple roasted ginger root vegetables. Oh my gosh.
We wanted to include everyone in whatever they want. You just have to be a maple lover, and if you don't like eating, you know, stuff with just maple syrup, at least it's baked into it, so
Right.
you're still getting that flavor without drinking a bottle of syrup.
Right.
So the reason
Which is
you're here today is
awesome.
because you're doing a book launch tomorrow, Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's not on at your storefront on White Oak Drive because
No.
it wasn't. You didn't have the room and not availability.
Yeah, we didn't have the storefront at the time. However, we are going to be at the Makery, which is 2 doors down from the Farmhouse Collective on Bruce Street.
The Makery. That's south of Albert, north of Queen.
Yeah, in between Queen and Albert. You
Right.
can't miss us. There's
Look at
parking
the
right
design
there.
on this. I love this with the
Plaid
plaid.
maple.
I love
So
this
sorry,
book.
what time is the book launch?
11 to 1. We are going to be sampling out some of our recipes. We have a beautiful basket from Sweet Greetings that we are raffling off.
Because you're selling your product at Sweet Greetings as well.
Yes, and we have our product for sale at the Farmhouse Collective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you need to get in there. If you want to see some real local talent, you need to get into the Farmhouse.
Okay. You're at like 7 different locations in the zoo right now?
Yeah, we're everywhere.
That's fantastic. But
That's
anyway, it's
awesome.
11 till
1.
11 till 1
Yeah.
at the Makery on Bruce Street.
Yes, books will be available.
Books available for you'll sign them.
Yes, we will sign them.
And you're serving treats.
Yes, of course we
Sampling
are.
treats.
Of course, you have to kind of test what you're buying, right?
Absolutely.
Ladies and
Absolutely
gentlemen,
right.
please support local business. And
Thank you very
give back
much
my
for
cookies.
Look at, we had a lovely treat brought to us, so thank you very
I know,
much.
I
Spencer and
Mary.
Erica Hogan, Plaid and Maple.
Yes.
Check out the cookbook, check out the store, and we'll be back with the news and Luann right after this.
Mary Ho Ho.
Thanks for being
Great
here.
idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Sources have indicated to On TV that just after 3:15 this morning, there was a heavy police presence in the city's East End. The focus seemed to be around Willowdale Street, with roadblocks established east of Boundary to Fournier. All side streets were reportedly shut down. At last word, OPP, City Police, the K9 unit, and EMS were all at the scene. We'll provide more information when it becomes available. The city's Public Works and Engineering Services Department would like to inform motorists and pedestrians that Great Northern Road at the McNabb Street intersection will be closed for approximately 2 days starting Saturday at 3 a.m. The closure is required to facilitate final water main connections. Motorists and pedestrians are urged to be cautious and to obey all detour signage in that area. The Ford government introduced its mini budget yesterday, and it fails Sault Ste. Marie and Northern Ontario charged Stephen Del Duca, Ontario Liberal leadership candidate. Del Duca delivered his response to the fall economic statement from Sudbury. Del Duca said Ford is a bull in a china shop. His ministers are so distracted by his tweets, his outbursts, and scattershot policy that they aren't focused on the things that matter, and that's meant Sault Ste. Marie has been ignored. Del Duca wants to develop a Northern Ontario action plan, including high-speed internet access for Northern and rural Ontario, more investment for roads and bridges, better access to medical doctors in the North, building capacity for autism services in the North, and a full review of provincial organizations to see if any of them can be expanded to Northern communities. The Ontario Liberal Party will hold a Northern debate in Sudbury on January 12th. Del Duca continues to meet with Northern Ontarians and will release his full Northern platform before that. Ontario's teachers are preparing to challenge the government in court over a new law that caps all public sector wage increases. It limits those increases to 1% a year for the next 3 years, which Treasury Board President Peter Bethlin-Falvey calls a fair and time-limited approach to eliminating the deficit. More than 1 million public sector workers would be affected by that bill, which applies to employees at school boards, universities and colleges, hospitals, long-term care homes, and other organizations. Shortly after it passed in the legislature last evening, the 4 major unions representing high school, elementary, Catholic, and French teachers in the province issued a joint statement. The unions are all currently in negotiations with the government for new contracts, and they say it tramples on collective bargaining rights. They say that the passage of the legislation all but shatters any prospect of good faith bargaining, and they're preparing a court challenge. Although the bill passed last night, it's retroactive to June 5th when it was first announced. Most of the province's teachers are already gearing up for a potential strike, as they can say even at the bargaining table, there is no real movement. Police said yesterday that officers responding to a late-night medical call from a Brampton home discovered the bodies of 2 boys as they charged the children's father with murder. 52-year-old Edwin Bastidas was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Constable Heather Cannon said investigators are not seeking any other suspects. Police have not released the cause of death and said it was not immediately apparent to investigators that they were dealing with homicides. Cannon said someone in the residence called 911 late Wednesday on what was described as a medical call. A mother and 2 sons were laid to rest in hand-hewn pine coffins in a single grave dug out of the rocky soil yesterday at the first funeral in Mexico for the victims of a drug cartel ambush that left 9 American women and children dead.
Well, it's definitely very challenging. It takes everything to accept to be able to assimilate it, to realize that how the cruelty, the heartlessness of these people, or that do something like this for their own purposes or whatever it might be, that we don't even know where it came from or how or why. We're still trying to understand and figure it out, but definitely it's undescribable what it is to lose 3 mothers and 6 children in such tragic loss, violence.
Past year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
conversation. I love looking at the ground.
Hey, welcome back to Morning with Luann and Tim. Look who's here. Josh Ingram from Sault Ste. Marie Downtown Association. And Justin, what's your last name?
Nepper.
Huh?
Nepper with silent K.
Not Knepper. Nepper. Justin, what's your position with the Sault Ste. Marie City?
Executive Director on the Sault, Michigan side.
Tourism, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. What's it called?
Downtown Development. So.
It's Downtown Development Authority.
Yes,
Downtown.
We're the Downtown Association. I say we need to change our A to authority.
So you guys, when did you guys start talking to each other about
a year ago,
working together?
About a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago. Yeah.
Justin, I gave Justin some treats from the Plaid Maple Cookbook. He's like, I got gingerbread in my teeth.
I'm trying to not smile too much. Just in case. No.
Okay, so you've been on the show already last year talking about Christmas downtown Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, you guys.
I think you also talked about Restaurant Week last year, did you?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
It was all packed together.
So here we are. We're a bridge apart, and yet we've always been sort of these two different downtowns, and nothing has ever really joined us together.
At least recently. I mean, there was a time when people were more connected, and that was the conversation that Justin and I had. Was there was a time where it was a little more fluid. Right. So we talked about, you looked it up one day in your office. You looked up how far away it is, and we actually have it on our Facebook page that it's like 6.023 miles between two downtowns. People drive from Mississauga to Toronto to go see acts, things like that. How come we're not more fluid? How come we're not hopping over to experience great things?
Why do you think that has been?
Well, 6 miles is still far if you're, if you don't like to go to many places.
Right.
But the biggest reason is because anytime, in my research, you can't even hardly get us to cross a street, let alone cross. If you are in a downtown area or whatever, and you pull your car up somewhere, or you decide, well, I have to, stop and wait for this red light. There's just subconscious barriers that prevent people from doing things in their minds.
Right.
And we have to convince ourselves to go out of our comfort zone and explore and do things that you don't normally think about doing.
Do you think there's also been a fear in the past about competition being not being unhealthy, whereas now you flip it around and make it realize that the proximity of two downtowns, the fact that we're two different countries, that should be an attraction. That should be a plus, not a minus. So have you kind of flipped the way that maybe in the past business have been thinking?
Yeah, I think that one of the big challenges we have is there's always people, probably on both sides, that are entrepreneurial, that want to start businesses. People are always opening new shops, trying new things out. But if we don't tell each other about that, they're not going to make it. So we have to break down the barriers, look at, instead of saying, well, yeah, we don't want to send people over the Canadian side, and the Canadians saying, well, we don't want to send over people to the Michigan side because we want to keep our own customers for ourselves. We actually are preventing our own growth to a certain extent.
Right. So. And also for tourism as well. To market ourselves as twin cities, make it. That's a reason to go somewhere. You get two different cultures, you get two different markets, you get two different feels. And then we were talking about, even for locals here, people say, well, I've only gone to Walmart and the Palace Restaurant or the gas station. Well, you're over there. Why don't you explore a little bit?
One of the things that I thought was really cool is, I think you told me you guys have over 230 members downtown, small businesses in their downtown, and we're at about 200 in our downtown. So there's over 430 small businesses, and of that, you guys probably have 50 or 60 really cool boutiques, retailers, restaurants. We have about the same. And that's where, to your point on tourism, we're not just, to tourists we say, well, we have Tequamanon Falls on the Michigan side, we have the Algoma train.
Agua Canyon Tour Train.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I still have to go on it. I want.
Oh yeah.
It's terrible. But all of your, all the big physical attractions in the region. But a lot of times people also want to know, where can I get a great meal? Where can I have a great shopping experience? And so, well, our visitors bureaus. What's your visitors? People called
Ontario Tourism.
Ontario Tourism. Our side is the Sault Convention and Visitors Bureau. They're doing great work, kind of promoting those large attractions. Our economic development corporations are doing great work. But I feel like telling
the
people,
Bridges Beyond Borders thing. Nevin Conchik was talking about that.
And yesterday it was just at our tourism awards as well. It was great seeing some highlights of some of our initiatives this year.
Right.
But telling people about the extra stuff, the downtown stuff that they can do as tourists and as locals. That's what we're working to.
So you've launched some social media stuff, a Facebook page and an
Instagram page. That's the thing. Like, business begets business. What Justin was saying is, if you like beer, you're going to like it in Michigan or Ontario. If you like coffee, you're going to like it on both sides of the border. So these Facebook page and Instagram page are really to, if I'm over in Michigan doing a specific task and I'm following that page, I can go, wait, there's a post there about the Canadian and Michigan coffee shops. Let me take a look, and we can go for coffee. So what the page does right now, because we just launched 10 days ago, 20 days ago, we're within a month.
Yeah.
So what it does right now, it does two specific things. The first thing it does, it highlights twin businesses, right?
Okay.
So there's a post with a graphic that says Sault Ste. Marie or downtown Ontario and downtown Michigan, 2 liked businesses, 2 coffee shops, right?
Right.
Here's this coffee shop, here's their social media account, here's their hours and their phone number. On the Michigan side, here's the Ontario similar one, right?
Right.
And we denote them with little flags beside it, so it's easy to tell, and you can click on the pictures and see what the atmosphere kind of looks like, and then you can kind of expand your palette. We did a winery and a brewery last Friday.
We did clothing, getting ready for winter.
Yep.
Two clothing stores on this side, and then one of our clothing stores that carries both men's and women's. So people can get ready.
How are the merchants about this? Are they cool with this, or have you had any feedback from?
97% positive on mine.
Most people are saying, I'm getting calls. Why haven't I been on that Facebook page yet?
Yeah.
Got 400 to go, man. It might be in 2 years.
Exactly. Hold on. And maybe we can update and change the posting schedule. We just launched. So it does that. And the other thing it does is it's going to highlight specific Downtown Authority and Downtown Association events. So we both had Halloween events. One day apart from each other. And one of my board members went to both.
Yeah.
He was like, I'd never heard of the Spooktacular.
Spooktacular.
That's spectacular.
So you have Restaurant Week coming up November the 11th.
Yeah, that's next. Is that this Sunday?
Monday.
It's starting Monday the 11th. Yeah.
That's something I want to work on with Josh on a future International Restaurant Week. We launched ours a few years ago, but we have 7 downtown restaurants that are doing special menus for that 1 week. It's a fixed price or I can't say it in French, but we had a fancy French word for it.
Prix fixe.
Yes, something like that.
You're always teaching me different words. Last time I was here, you taught me Spanish.
Fixed price.
Yeah. So $12 for lunch, $22 for dinner, but it's a 3-course dinner. We just got a new Italian restaurant finally that opened on our side at our Christopher.
Finally.
We haven't had one for 5 years, I think.
Well, there was no shortage over here.
No, I know. So hopefully people can explore some of our restaurants over there, and then like I said, you guys have tons of awesome restaurants over here.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been coming over for the Indian. Everybody's coming over for Indian food.
Yeah.
We're missing some.
So once again, it's flipping it and looking at it as an advantage to being Twin Cities. Play that up, right?
Well,
and support each other.
Our tagline on the pages are just bridging 2 downtowns.
Do you call it Sault Ste. Marie Squared or something like that? Or Downtown
you look up Sault Ste. Marie Downtown Squared on Facebook, and you'll find us. And then the Instagram is linked. So Sault Ste. Marie Downtown Squared.
Fantastic. Yeah. And the other thing that I found out when I did the tour of the Lock Tours, a lot of folks who come to the UP, who come to Michigan, northern Michigan, don't realize how close Canada is, and they don't bring their passports. Mm-hmm. It never occurs to them that they're going to be somewhere where they could just literally drive 6 miles and be in another country. Yeah. So that's something that we need to look into as well, really promoting. When you're coming up to the UP, two countries in one, right?
It's very true, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, great initiative.
For sure.
Check it out, the Facebook page and the Instagram. And the title of the page is?
Sault Ste. Marie Downtown Squared.
All right, beautiful. Justice, thanks for being here. Come back anytime. We'd like to hear more of what's going on over across the river.
Hey.
Guys, nice to see you. Josh, you'll be back for Christmas stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. You tried to make me jealous when you were out with my wife the other day.
I was out with Josh's wife the other night.
I'm telling you, I keep showing up here. I haven't seen you 2 on the morning show yet, so.
Now, either there's a cat here for Fur and Feathers Friday, or Luann's very upset in the next room, because I just heard noises.
That was me, excuse me.
Oh, was it? Okay. We'll be back with Fur and Feathers Friday right after this.
Recently, the government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
A very, very curious kitty in my hands. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. You brought me 3 little baby kitties.
I did bring you 3 little baby kitties.
You said right now you have a number of kittens and puppies.
We still have dozens, probably about 2 dozen kittens. And
2 dozen kittens?
Yes, and we've got about 13 puppies.
Really?
Yes.
But larger breed puppies?
All large breed.
Okay. These kittens are how old? Look at that one. How old are these little guys and
about
girls?
10 weeks old.
10 weeks. And are there more from this litter? Or?
No, this is it. There was a 4th, but it went home with one of our staff members.
Hey, okay, boys, girls, what do we have?
These are 3 girls.
3 girls, and so they will need to get spayed.
Yes.
But that's included in the adoption price, as we know.
Part of it is, yeah.
Yeah. You get a credit.
Yeah, $60 credit.
$60 credit towards spaying when you purchase these kittens.
Yeah.
So how much would a kitten like this? $90?
$90.
$90. And is there like when a cat's this color, is there a name for it?
That's a classic tabby. It's called.
You're a classic tabby.
Yeah, this one's a classic tabby too.
That one's really way darker, eh?
Yeah.
And this one has little white booties on it.
Yeah, this one's just a normal tabby.
You said temperament-wise, these cats are just lovely.
They are. Yeah, they were. They came to us actually from Elliott Lake.
Oh.
A lady found a stray cat with a litter of kittens in her shed.
You made a little noise. She made a little noise.
So she took care of them in her shed until they were ready to go, and the Elliott Lake shelter had no room, so she brought them up to us.
The Elliott Lake shelter brought them up to you?
No, the woman did.
The woman did?
Yeah, she drove them all the way.
Bless her heart.
I know. And she obviously socialized them, her little shed kitties.
Because they're friendly.
Yeah, we have Mom too. She brought Mom. Mom's a nice cat.
So Mom will go up for adoption after when?
Mom, when we have room.
When you have room. Oh, because she's still in Elliott Lake, the mom?
No, we have her. It's just we're still full.
Oh.
So.
This is a little amused. What do kittens eat?
Kitten food and wet food. Usually it's a good idea to supplement their diet.
Ooh, and that's a reminder. If you have wet cat food you want to volunteer, what do you call that? Donate.
Donate.
I volunteer my cans of food. Donate, you'll take soft food.
We need soft food, yeah.
You do.
We absolutely do.
Blankets and towels always.
Sheets too right now.
Sheets.
With the puppies, we go through, as you can imagine, a lot of sheets in a day with 13 puppies.
Yes.
Because they get very messy.
Okay. And how kittens always have to stay inside. Cats have to stay inside.
Cats, yep. Okay. Should always stay inside. The average, remember we talked about the average lifespan of an outdoor cat is 2 to 4 years. whereas the average lifespan of a cat can be upwards of 17 to 20. So
why would you want to have a cat die in 4 years when you could have it live for 17? Right?
Yeah, and even getting them fixed doesn't mean that they can go outside and they'll just stay around. They'll still wander.
And the bottom line is it against the law?
It's against the city bylaw to let cats off property. So if you want your cat to be an indoor-outdoor cat, it has to be confined
to a yard or a cage or
something
or leashed.
Harness with a leash, or a nice cattery outdoor cat area.
Cattery.
There's some pretty neat things that you can get, like a cat house for fencing. That you can get some neat.
Can you? They have structures like that?
Yeah, for the top of a fence that cats can't. They climb, they can't jump over.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so hours of operation for the Humane Society?
Monday to Friday, 11 to 5, I almost forgot. And then Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 5.
Okay. Any volunteers?
Yeah, we can always use volunteers.
And students get hours?
Yep. You have to be over 16.
Over 16. Okay.
But we will sign off on hours.
If you're looking for a kitty cat or a puppy, you know where to go. Go visit Laura at the Humane Society and take one of these beauties home. We'll be back to say goodbye with Luann right after this.
And just before we leave you for the weekend, I want to say a huge thank you to KC Security for sponsoring the show. We so appreciate it. You guys dropped in when Nathan came by this morning to make sure I was all right about 5:45. So thank you so much. We appreciate your attention.
You know what?
What?
Those kittens smelled nice.
Did they?
Yeah.
They were so loud coming in.
I know. I thought it was you getting upset.
What do you mean I'm not getting a raise?
You got plans for the weekend, you?
Yeah, we're going to have some people in tomorrow night. And other than that, I've been keeping up with my house cleaning, so I might actually have some downtime.
Well, tonight it's Foster Parents Appreciation Night, and we're having a get-together. I'm going to be playing a few games with them and entertaining down to thank them for fostering children. And
awesome.
Then on Saturday, it's the Sault Ste. Marie Area Hospital Gala.
You're so busy.
See you on Monday.
Thanks for watching.